Hi, and welcome to my Brain and Beyond channel. This is Jo, and today we're talking about victim mentality and how to break through that using some NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming techniques. Before we begin, we need to be ready to remove the obstacles. We need to identify what's holding us back and decide how we are going to approach that blockage. So if you have something in your life that's causing you a blockage right now, I want you to think about it, write it down, and get ready to tear it up and throw it away without excuse. You see, everyone wants more time, more money, more support, and you are not going to be any different. No matter how much we have, we want more. There often is never enough. Anything on your list right now is a self-limiting belief, and that's your real poison. We all have a poison, and we have to firstly identify what it is and then be ready and willing to give it up. We create our own obstacles. We focus on scarcity. We focus on what we don't have. And you have unlimited healing potential, but you're not focusing on that. Your mind is a muscle. It builds connections up based on what you feed it. You will not overcome fear by hiding in the corner. So I want you to look at this picture and choose right now how you are going to see yourself. It doesn't matter how you've seen yourself in the past. Now is the only time and the only place you get to choose. We will start with eliminating these negative beliefs, and I'll tell you one NLP technique right now. When you speak about yourself, I want you to start changing your I'm going to's, or I will, or I hope, or one day. I want you to get rid of those and start speaking I am. Make your future the present with the way that you speak. You see, people will act consistent with who they think they are. And if you see yourself as that little pussycat, then that's how you will act. But if you choose to be the lion, then you're going to act more courageously. You will act consistently with the way that you see yourself. And it starts with the way that you speak. No more in the future talk. We are going to be only in the present. And similarly, when we're talking about ourselves in a negative way, we need to change that, not from the present, but change that to the past. So instead of saying, I'm lazy and I'm disorganized, you will say, I used to be lazy, or I was disorganized, but now I'm empowered and now I'm focused. Your life is a bunch of decisions. Every day you're going to make a decision. If you are stuck in the same place, then you need to make a different decision. If you want different, you have to do different. People come to my clinic and they tell me it took 5 years, 10 years to change their life, to get a breakthrough. And that's simply not true. It wasn't 5 or 10 years to change your life. It was a moment. It takes a single moment to make a life-changing decision. But the problem is you go back to old patterns. A decision takes a moment. The follow-up action is where the work is done. We complicate things and we need to simplify life. It's complicated enough. So what's your poison? What was on your bit of paper? Find it, name it, throw it out without excuse. To move on in the course that I teach, the first step is to decide right now, in this moment, you will not take the poison. Now, this doesn't mean to deny that you probably have challenges and problems in your life. I'm sure what was on your bit of paper is challenging and difficult and uncomfortable, maybe painful. I'm assuming that the reason you're watching this video is because there are things in your life that aren't easy and you need breakthroughs from them. But the problems don't define you, and you're not special or different because of them. Now, that sounds harsh, but if you're not ready to be empowered, which means you don't choose to be a victim anymore, then you're not ready for the message in this video. I see people who choose to identify based on their victimhood. I see people who have gone through terrible, painful events, but they were 40 or 50 years ago and they're still suffering. Pain is certain. We all go through pain, but suffering is optional. Sometimes when I confront my patients with this, there's a few that feel that I'm unsympathetic. I've had one ask me why I don't care, why I don't understand. But you see, I do care, and I understand enough to not want to see them suffer anymore. But some of them don't know who they are without their suffering. They've chosen to stay in a victim mentality. And the event which caused their victimhood, which was legitimate and painful, no doubt, is over. But that event has become their identity. I'm a victim of DV. I suffer from depression. I'm an alcoholic, etc., etc. That kind of identity, that kind of labeling is going to keep you trapped. You have to be ready to abandon the suffering and get rid of the victimhood label. Everyone will have pain, emotional, physical, spiritual, psychological, but the suffering is optional. Pain and suffering are not the same thing, unless you want them to be. See, pain happens in a moment, and suffering are the choices that you make thereafter that continue to keep you in that suffering cycle. I'm not necessarily here to motivate you or to sympathize or to listen. I mean, I can do those things, and I can do them authentically and genuinely. But what I'm really here for is to get results. And to get results, we have to get out of the sympathy circle. Now, let's see if you're getting this. Think of a time when you failed at something. It might be a relationship, an assignment, project, a speech, a job interview. And I want you to tell me right now why you failed. Think of the main reason why you failed. Was it not enough time? Was it resources? Was it people? Was it lack of knowledge? Was it fear? Was it money? And now look at that answer and ask yourself, is that failure due to an intrinsic or an extrinsic reason? Most of your reasons will be extrinsic, things that you can get. Pretty much every reason that people come up with is an excuse. Some lack of something, not enough time, not enough money, not enough knowledge. But if you are resourceful enough, there's a way to get more of whatever you need. But to do that, you need to first start looking at what you have, or what you can get, as opposed to what you don't have and don't have enough of. And you must throw out the excuses. What we focus on, we feel, we manifest. If we focus on what we don't have, then we won't have. When we change the way we focus on things, the things we focus on change. If you don't have enough money, then you can choose to focus on what you can't buy, or you can start finding a way to make more money, or you can focus on what you can afford. When you walk down the street, you can focus on where you're going. If you focus on the things around you or behind you, you'll probably fall over and bump into things. Your focus determines where you go. And most of the time, our focus is on automatic made, subconscious thoughts. Just like the autofocus on your iPhone. Sometimes it focuses on the wrong thing and the rest of the picture is blurred, and you have to tap on the screen where you want it to refocus. And we are a bit like that. We are on autofocus, but the bulk of our picture is blurred. Our autofocus chooses its target based on our experiences, our anxieties, our expectations, our excuses, and our failures. And we sometimes have to tap the screen and refocus on the moment that we are in. The now, the present moment, it is the only picture we will ever have any power or control over. So we need to start this lesson with a decision right now. To stop drinking the poison, to stop finding the excuses, and not just to stop drinking the poison, but to throw it out, get rid of it. No more excuses ever, no more blurry vision, no more victimhood, and no more waiting for things to get better. You are about to change your life, and you won't be able to do that if you keep that poison on the shelf, because it's too tempting to return to the old ways and the bad habits. Whatever it is that's holding you back, whatever pain you've been carrying from your past, whatever excuse you've been using to stay trapped, whatever you've had on autofocus, that's the poison. And if you're not ready to let go of that, you will need to rewatch this video until you are. To change your life, you don't need years, you don't need months, you don't even really need days, you need a moment. Everything happens from the thoughts and actions of a single moment, and from every moment. Your entire existence could be different from this moment. The world is changing quickly, and you are going to have many opportunities, many moments where you will have to be ready, choices, because change is coming whether you like it or not, whether you're ready or not. So you can't be limiting yourself right now through uncertainty and through procrastination, through fear, through excuses, through doubt, or through those self-limiting beliefs that you have been using for a long time. The single biggest barrier or the single biggest reward is the content or the product of your beliefs. One limiting belief can keep you paralyzed indefinitely. The networks in our brain are constantly creating a virtual reality of which you are the major player. And think about that for a moment. Your brain is encased up here in your skull. It has no direct contact with the outside world. It never physically touches light or smells, but photons, particles, waves, etc. elicit these neurochemical processes within your skull, within your brain. The cells relying on the proliferation and the propagation of electrical signals, of which a 3-pound meaty organ then generates perceptual meaning from it, generates reality. So who is to say that your virtual reality is the same as my virtual reality? Is your red the same as my red? How can we possibly test that? There can be no objective truth, only our own individual interpretations of what we think reality is. You can effectively create any truth you want, because when you determine how something should be in your reality, you, in that moment, instantly determine and believe it to be so. So if in this moment, right now, you choose to believe all things are possible, then they become possible. If you choose you will fail, you choose you'll be hurt or stay broken, and that will be true too. So this is your moment. In this very moment, you will make a choice that can effectively change everything you believed before, and in effect create a reality and a future that is now completely in your control. So that leaves just one last question to ask you. What will you choose? If you found this video to be helpful, then please consider liking or subscribing to my channel. That allows me more opportunity to provide free content for you. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other and have a very happy and peace-filled day. Bye now.